Good evening. Welcome to 100% LCFC. My name's Phil, and I seem to be the only fan left standing who actually is still backing Claude Puel, I think. Well, let's be honest, we've run this poll, the 100% LCFC poll. I think last time I looked, 2.5, I think nearly 3,000 fans had voted in our poll. The poll I didn't want to run. Maybe I didn't want to run the poll because I didn't want to know what the answer was. Hi Anthony Howard, you're watching. Hi Ryan Sonley, you're watching. Did you vote in the poll, lads? What did you think? Good evening, Ryan. Yes, how are you? I ran the poll on Saturday after our little chat, straight after the post-match. Yes, James Hall is saying this is going to be interesting. I feel like I'm the only Leicester fan who is still backing Claude Puel. Hi Andreas, what do you think? Are you backing Puel? 85% of Leicester City fans have said Puel out. I am a bit amazed. I knew that there was quite a few Puel outs, but good evening to you all watching. Hi Stephen Price, what do you think? Are you on my side of the fence? Are you backing Puel? Or are you in the 85%, the vast majority, saying they're out? Dara, again, evening to you. What do you think? Sam Perkins, Sam, come on, what's going on? What is going on? 85% of fans are saying they want Claude Puel out. Now, I'm going to make a case for why he should stay in, which I'm struggling a little bit at the moment to make a case for him. But if you look at the stats, and we've put some of the stats up there, we've done some posts earlier in the day. Leicester, let's look at the last 20 seasons for Leicester. We've had 11 outside of the Premier League, 10 in the Championship, 1 in League One. That one in League One was just 10 years ago. And we've had 10 in the Premier League. And most of those, apart from that one glorious year, have been mid-table. And that's pretty much where we are now. And I don't know what it is. I've got it in my waters that tomorrow night we are going to beat Man City. You can call me an old fool, but as a Leicester fan, there's something about sometimes you just get it in your waters and you think, do you know what, we're going to beat Man City. It's a big game. I think it's a massive game tomorrow night. And I'm going to read out some of your comments because I don't want to keep bleating on, but I feel like I am the only... Mick Paget, join me. There's me and Mick, Puel in. That's it. I know a lot of you. Jason Mills, I know well, Jason, you're saying oi, oi, out. Graham Moley Bar is saying evening. What do you think, Graham? What do you reckon, Dan Hall? Martin Rose, I'm going to loads of shout outs. Phil Queen, thanks to everybody who's watching. Get your views in. What on earth do you think to how we're playing? I'll tell you what annoys me is, the more I've been thinking about the match on Saturday and the more I watched it back on the highlights, we don't use Jamie Vardy how we should use Jamie Vardy. And I know part of my argument is I think Claude Puel's trying to build a team for the future. But use Jamie Vardy. He's here today. He won't be hit around forever, Vardy won't, but use him. Let's play that quick ball through, ball over the top. That's what Jamie wants. He doesn't want these slow balls. Wiggo's watching. Come on, Wiggo. Say your Puel in with me, Wiggo. Back me up, mate. Dan Hall is Puel in. That's three of us so far. If you Puel out, put it in the comments, let us know. 85% of you are saying that. Anthony Lindo saying hello, how are you? I'm doing good, hope you are, and Anthony. Andreas is saying, no, sorry Phil, you're a Puel out. It's fine, we're all allowed our different opinions, aren't we? Richie Collins, that's 4. 4 of us are saying Puel in. Richie says, get behind Claude Puel. Mike Schoonmaker, sorry Mike, Dutch name, watching all the way from Holland, is saying Puel out. Fine, that's fair enough. Trust me, he is one of the most unexciting managers to have a post-match interview. I'll give you that. So what he's like in the changing room, I mean, crikey, I used to think Sven took a long while to say nothing, but Claude Puel in his post-match interviews, yes, Jason Mills, I do know your opinion. Jason, you are definitely... I've pressed the wrong thing here. Just bear with me. Jason is definitely a Puel in, aren't you, Jason? That'll get him going. Of course he's not. Mick Paget, yes. Puel in. Martin Rose, Puel out. Right. Joey Kowali says, I don't know how you can back him. Yeah, I can, because we're mid-table. I know we're 12th at the moment. We are, I think I'm right in saying, on the table, guys, we are 4 points off 6th, 4 points off Man United. I hope my stats are right. 4 points off 6th, 4 points off Man United as we approach Christmas. I know we've got some tough games. We've got, forget the Cup, we've got Man City, we've got Chelsea. Then we've got teams like Cardiff coming in. We've got a couple of winnable games, or so you'd like to think. Everton away, that'll be tricky on New Year's Day. 4 points from 6th. What do you want, in all fairness? I know we're 12th because of the defeat at the weekend. 4 points from 6th, quarter-final of the Cup. We're going to win tomorrow night. We're going to be in the semi-finals. And on Wednesday, some of you just maybe will be going 4 points from 6th, League Cup semi-final. That's not bad. I tell you what, it's better than League One. I know we all enjoyed League One, but did you really enjoy going to Yeovil away and Doncaster and Brentford? Matt Glover, so many comments. Get them in. Get all your comments in. Be great. I'm going to read out as many as I can. Give you loads of shout outs because I know I'm in the minority. Matt Glover saying Puel out. Dale Hines is Puel out. He's a tactical clueless, no plan B genius. I agree with you on the fact that he has got no plan B. Plan B, plan B, plan B. Where is it? Where the hell is plan? We haven't got one. And to be fair, at times I'm wondering what plan A is. So I know where you Puel out lot are coming from, but plan A, what gets me is when we're losing like against Palace and we're playing plan A, we stick to plan A, we stick to plan A, then we make some changes. And effectively we carry on with another version of plan A, which if those people are not good enough to start, if Okazaki's not good enough to start, then maybe bringing him on isn't going to change that much. Chris Wolford is saying Puel needs to walk now, had enough of the poor tactics going forward. Stephen Price, you see, Stephen, this is where I think I'm with you on this. He's saying I'm backing Puel, but I'm losing my support for him. That's a bit how I feel. I'm still backing him. He's the manager of Leicester. And Duncan Barsby saying it's just boring to watch. We don't even look like scoring. Again, I have to agree with Duncan. I know why you Puel out lot are saying some of this. Martin Rose is saying Puel is clueless. Michael Barrett is saying, have you heard of Specsavers? Yeah, where do you think I get these from? Specsavers. I do. But maybe, I don't know. Listen, I've got two teenage lads who are 16 and 19 and they're both Puel out. We've had a debate tonight. We're trying to eat dinner and we're having a debate about it because they're going, are you still backing Puel? And I go, yes, because again, you all know I bleat on. I've been watching this lot for 40 years and at least 20 odd of those were rubbish. Were rubbish. If you don't remember David Pleat out, if you don't remember Craig Levine, if you don't remember my namesake Ian Holloway, Uncle Ian as we used to call him, if you don't remember these, even Sven, you know, it was not good. And so a lot of it was not good. And in Division 2 or the Championship, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, it's not amazing at the moment. It's not even very entertaining. I think that's the problem. But Vardy, that's my big thing. Use Vardy. Just use him. There's no point Claude Puel trying to build for the future when he ain't going to be around for the future at this rate. Because 85% of fans, even I've got to take notice of that and say, you lot aren't wrong if that's what you think. But 85% of you are saying you want him out. I thought the poll would be like, to be fair, I thought it'd be like 60, 70% would want Puel in. I didn't know the Puel out feeling was that strong. Sam Perkins, I agree with Sam. Sam says, cup game will be the final straw for many if we lose. It will be the final. I think there's nothing wrong with losing to Man City. They're imperious. They're on top form. Crikey, they had Aguero on the bench at the weekend, so he could start as Jesus was starting. They've got strength in depth, although I hear they are struggling for players a little bit, if you can believe that. They'll play some young lads, but the young talent at Man City is not rubbish. So they'll put out a strong, but they will put out a B team, won't they? And I think Claude Puel must play the A team. He's got to play the A team. I've heard Chilwell's out, injured. I have heard, I think Puel said today, there's a chance that Jamie Vardy might need a rest. That's just nonsense. You've got to play Vardy tomorrow night. Even I'd take a 70% Vardy, and Man City are going to come at us. So again, it plays into Vardy's speciality of hitting them on the break. We've seen it this season when we played, I think it was Watford. Watford came and attacked us and we played counter-attacking football. And that's what we want. That's what Leicester fans expect. But you've got to play the best team. Right, let me read out loads of comments. So I'm just going to bash through loads. Dara's saying, we'll find out at the end of January. Fourth from bottom, pity 3 worse teams than City. I don't know why he's saying pity, but there's more than 3 worse sides. John Squires is saying, Puel in, come on you lot for once, get behind him. Puel out, says Neil Ryan. Who would we realistically bring in to replace him? Again, that is a great question from Neil Ryan. If you're 85% want Puel out, who do you want in? Put in the comments who you want in. Q, 28 comments about Rafa Benitez. Why is he going to come to Leicester? Why is Rafa Benitez going to come to Leicester? But you put it in there if that's who you think. So who are you going to have? Mind you, don't get me excited if somebody said Martin O'Neill. Then I might change my mind. Even though I don't think he'd probably do a good job, he'd get us all excited, wouldn't he? A bit of Martin O'Neill. Mark Gatwood is saying, old fool. You're not talking about me, are you, Mark? Probably. Dale Fines is saying, old fool, lol. Yes, I think you are talking about me, you cheeky buggers. Richie Collins is with me. We're going to beat Man City. Yes, we are. I'm with you on that. Jason Mills is saying the owners want more and have higher ambitions than mid-table. Yes, of course they do. Of course they do, Jason. But if they... I've got to be careful how I say it. If they really wanted higher ambitions, would they have really backed Shakespeare at the time? Would they have really gone for Claude Puel? If their ambitions are that high, why did we get the guy who walked away from Southampton, got the boot? I'm Puel in, but I agree, he's no great shakes. So why did we get him in? If we've got that high ambitions, why did we get Claude Puel in? They might just be quite happy with mid-table and a cup run. Anyway, Dean Heighton, saying 12 wins in a year. I'd back him for relegation. Interesting. Phil's been drinking, says Neil Ryan. I am. Look, I've got a whole half pint of vodka. Puel in. I wish it was vodka. James Hall saying, you seem happy, Phil. I guess I'm battling everybody, James. It feels like, apart from, I think I've got to 4 people so far saying Puel in. Mick Paget, good on you, Mick, saying 3-1 Leicester City to win tomorrow night. I don't think I'd go 3-1, Mick. Be nice, but I'd take a scrapey win. I'd even take a Danny Ward penalty save. Is he going to play Danny Ward? He shouldn't. In my books, you've got to play Casper. Who would you play in? Let's get into the team selection. Who would you play? Casper or Danny Ward? Now, Danny Ward's done nothing wrong in these games, but for me, you get Casper in that goal tomorrow. You play Casper, you play the best team, you play Maguire. Who would you play with Maguire? I mean, the trouble with the team is at the moment, we don't know who he'll pick from week to week. I think I'd play Maguire, I'd still play Morgan. Because for whatever reason, Soyuncu is not getting into the team. Benkovic, if you read the stuff of Benkovic at Celtic, he doesn't even want to come back to Leicester. Benkovic is saying, I'm playing at Celtic, I'm winning cups, I'm doing well. 60-odd thousand fans screaming his name, raving over him. Benkovic doesn't even want to come back to Leicester at this moment. So many comments, I'm skipping through. Sorry to skip through so many. There is hundreds of comments, and that is brilliant. I'm going to read a load out. Pete Creed, I'm not just picking the Puel in ones, but Pete Creed does say Puel in, average players, club going through a tough time. We need to stick together. I agree with some of that, Pete. I don't think the players are average. I think we've got a really good squad, and that's part of the frustration. Pete, do you think the players are playing their guts out, their hearts out for Puel or not? Because they didn't do it for Ranieri at the end. The players didn't. And I'm not sure they did it for Shakespeare all the time either. I've got a sneaking feeling, I don't know if there's a bit of player power again, and they might be ready to see off another manager. I don't know. I'm making that up. What do you think? Matt Glover saying, 4 from man. I look at the games we have, can beat anyone at the Mo, don't even look like a team. Fair enough, Matt. I think I understood what you're saying. James Viach says, look how everyone slated him, sticking with Big Wes being our best player in recent games. I agree. I'd have Wes and Harry out there tomorrow. That would be my back two. Chilwell's out, so it ain't going to be Ben Chilwell. So who are you going to play there? Fuchs doesn't do much wrong. I thought he did okay, actually. Christian Fuchs did on Saturday. So Fuchs on one side and Pereira at left on the back. I mean, don't get me... Again, another Puel tactic that I absolutely annoys me. You see, I'm a Puel in, but he not annoys the pants off me. Moving Albrighton to a fullback position, that does my nut in. Albrighton's been one of our best, most consistent players, puts in 110% every match. Phil Sykes saying, frustrated by recent performances, but still want and expect Puel to stay. Wayne Oberyn is saying Puel out. James Viach is saying Puel in. There's definitely more comments. There is more comments saying Puel in on this. But if you think that, you need to vote in the poll because 2,800 people voted so far. 85%. You can't argue with it. They can only click once and 85% have said Puel out. Martin Rose is saying better with no manager. I don't think so. Mick Paget is saying we sold our plan B. We did. We sold Ulloa. Do you want to... It's heated at the moment because there's a certain amount where I was speaking with somebody. I've just been out. I was speaking with a guy I've never met, to be fair, out and about Leicester. And we were debating who is making the signings at Leicester City. Because we've signed 2 or 3, 4 cracking players over the last couple of years, haven't we? Maguire, cracking. James Maddison looks decent, really decent, and he's young. Ricardo Pereira, I think, looks really decent. Go through all the other ones that we've signed that are not worked out. Who's making these signings? Who signed Benkovic? Who signed Soyuncu? Who signed Diabate? Who signed Slimani? Musa? Kramaric? If I made a list, there's probably 10 or 12 players in the last 2 or 3 seasons who have not worked out at all. Who's making those signings? Because don't think for a minute it's Claude Puel for them all. Lose tomorrow night, says Sam Perkins. Without a fight, then I'm Puel out. Sam, I want that team needs to be an A team for me. If we lose tomorrow night, but we've put an A team out and we've given it a real go, I'll still be back in. Chelsea on Saturday, that's going to be a toughie, isn't it? Man City on Boxing Day, that's going to be a toughie. He's got to win tomorrow night, I think. Tom Watson saying bring back Pearson. I like Nigel Pearson when he was at Leicester. He did a lot, but I don't see it. And he's done very little since leaving Leicester. It's not like he's gone anywhere else and done anything. He had a little patch at Derby and didn't do well, I think, didn't he? And he's been over at OH Leverkusen. He's not doing anything amazing over there in a poor Belgium League 2. Tony Fish is saying it's not Rudkin, it's Puel. Fair enough. Chris Ward is saying Puel in need and to sign strikers in January. Don't understand why he took Maddison off. Your most creative, lightly player, he took him off at half time. I wasn't quite sure what he was trying to do. I don't know if he was trying to change the shape there. Did anybody else notice? It looked like Wes Morgan had 5 minutes playing up top. I don't know if he went up for a corner and just stayed up there for 5-10 minutes. Was that Wes Morgan doing that and trying to take the lead? I don't know. Mark Gatwood is saying plan A, plan A, plan A, and we're not good at plan A. Go back to counter-attacking football. I think that's part of the frustration is that we all know that we've still got the players to play counter-attacking football. There's not many players better than Mark Albrighton to get a ball in. And Ndidi and Mendy, I know I've seen a lot of criticism for Mendy, but I thought Mendy's been and Ndidi have been solid at the back. If they break the ball up and keep it a tight defence, we just need somebody to slam it forward for people like Albrighton, Gray and Vardy to chase. A few fans said they thought Gazelle played well on Saturday. Again, I'm not seeing Gazelle. At the moment, he's another £13 million, not impressed. Ibora, again, I told you the list goes on. Ibora, I'm not impressed with. Can't get into the team on a regular basis. Adrian Silva, don't see him ever. Apart from I saw him in Curry's the other week buying a kettle. Does that count? That's the closest. That's as much action, and I'm not joking at Boss Park. That's as much action I've seen Adrian Silva do in the last 6 months, and he was buying a kettle with his missus. We're allowed to say it. We are allowed to say it as fans that we're not impressed by some of these players. Ken White, this is Wayne saying, Ken White wants Peter Taylor back. There's another name for the past. If you think Claude Puel's not doing so well, many of you, I know I'm going to say this, if you think Claude Puel you're not sure on, think back to Peter Taylor. I know some of you will put in the comments, Claude Puel's like Peter Taylor. He might be, to be fair, let's hope not. Get him gone, says James Thompson. We are so negative playing. Jim Chapman saying, Celtic manager in, sorry, forgot his name, Brendan. Should we go on Brendan Rodgers? Because I think I put this up earlier. Because I've seen a few people say Brendan Rodgers. So here's my view on Brendan Rodgers. He's been Celtic manager for the last few seasons, hasn't he? And he's won every cup there is in Scotland. Well done when it's only Celtic in that league. Because Rangers got demoted and have been working their way back up from the Scottish second and third divisions, whatever it is up there, for the last few seasons. And it's took them till this season where they've got half a decent side, and Steven Gerrard seems to have inspired something. So this year is the first year that Celtic have got a challenge, and that's Rangers. And then it's Kilmarnock, who are doing a Leicester and are somehow doing well. So you've got Kilmarnock having a shock season like we did. You've got Rangers getting back to their old strengths. And where are Celtic? They're third. Celtic are third in a one-horse race in Scotland. So Brendan Rodgers has done really well up in a one-horse race in the Scottish League. They've done nothing in Europe, nothing at all to claim about, and he's done oh so well when there's nobody to beat. But now there's two other teams who are up there. They're third. So why do you want Brendan Rodgers? What do you think he's going to bring? Can somebody put the comments in there? Because sometimes it gets frustrating when you see things like, oh, get Brendan Rodgers in because he's at Celtic and they've won the Scottish Championship for the last 4 years. Because they've had nobody to beat. Look at it. Look at the facts. A lot of people say Rafa Benitez. Can't see it. He's in a job. Come up with some proper names. Some proper managers are out there who might just come to Leicester and be realistic. Put them in there. Don't just say, oh, we'll have the Celtic manager, we'll have the Newcastle manager. They're in jobs. They're in jobs. Not often a manager will leave a club like Newcastle or Celtic to come to Leicester and break their contract. Yes, if they were sacked. Mark Hughes is available. Do you want him? Anyway, listen, I've ranted a bit. I need to read out your comments. I've got to scoot through. Ken White is saying, if we get relegated, who then? Jason Mills is saying, Roberto Mancini is who I said before the owners should have gone all out for, but Puel was appointed. Jason, I totally agree with you on that. I would have had Roberto Mancini. I definitely agree with you, Jason. But do you know what I've heard on the side? Somebody said they did approach Mancini. This is all hearsay. I've got no evidence. But what I did hear is we did approach Roberto Mancini. He didn't want to come because what we did to Claudio Ranieri. Do you blame him? Do you think other managers don't look at Leicester and go, Pearson, Ranieri, Shakespeare, Puel, and just go, I might get 6 months here if I'm lucky. Rafa all the way, says Stefan. Fine. David Moyes, says Stephen Price. That's a shout. I'll give you that one, Stephen. I'll give you that one. That is a shout. A quality manager. 9 or 10 years at Everton. Didn't do, to be fair, if you're a Man U fan, I think you'd have David Moyes back and wish you'd have given him a bit longer. The mess that Man United are in. So David Moyes, for me, is a decent shout. Did all right at West Ham last year and again didn't get the job. Mason Nash is saying, give me the job. As in, give Nathan the job. Simon May is saying Pearson. Mick Paget is saying Martin O'Neill back. Oh, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. But it probably wouldn't work, would it, Mick? It probably wouldn't work, mate, if we're honest. Martin Rose is saying Pearson. He's done nothing. He's done nothing since leaving Leicester. So, and he's been back twice. You know, Rafa is a shout. He's got sacked twice or walked away twice as well. So really 3 times in. Rafa is a shout, says somebody from 100%. If we offered him the money in the transfer window, he'd do a cracking job. He would do a cracking job. Rafa Benitez is a cracking manager and managed at the very, very top levels in England, at Liverpool and in places like Spain, at Madrid. But he's, crikey, if he hadn't left Newcastle after the mess that they've been in with the transfers, why is he suddenly going to go now? Especially when Newcastle look like they're going to be taken over by, is it Kenyon and his crew, and they'll put money into it. So he'll probably stick around. And if he gets some money, he could take Newcastle somewhere. And I think there's a challenge there for him. John Simpson saying, my mum could do better than Puel. Matt Hunt is saying, although anyone must be better than Puel. Like and share this video. Keep the likes, keep the shares going. That'd be brilliant. Sean Cherry saying, if they did not get rid then, what about Leonardo Jardim? You've got me there. I don't know who Leonardo Jardim is at all, Sean. I'm not a world manager. My knowledge is pretty thin on the ground. Martin O'Neill says Larry Woodward will lift the place overnight. Yes, he would. He really would, wouldn't he? I give you that. And he is available. Yeah, and he could come in January with Roy Keane. Yeah, I quite like that. But I'm still Puel in. You're not having me just because you're teasing me with things like get Martin O'Neill back with Keane. Mitchell Glover is saying Alan Pardew. Really? You want Alan Pardew? Fair enough. Craig Rowley is saying, have you read the account by the Southampton fan on Facebook? I haven't, but I've talked to enough Southampton fans. We spoke to Freddie. We did a live video with Freddie from The Ugly Inside, which is a Southampton fanzine. This was just before they sacked Mark Hughes. And I asked him outright, in the end, do you wish you hadn't got rid of Claude Puel? And he said, yes, I wish we'd have stuck with him. He didn't answer it quickly. He was like, yeah, probably. Because, again, they finished 8th in a cup final. If we were to finish in the top half this season in a cup final, this season, lads and ladies who are watching, don't be sexist. If we got to the cup final and finished in the top half of the table, my question to you is, would you all take that as a good season? And if I could guarantee you that Claude Puel will get us to a League Cup final and win it and get into Europe and finish in the top half, if I just cannot believe you wouldn't say at the end of the season, Bill, that was about as good as it gets as a Leicester fan, apart from that season where we won the Premier League. That is it. That's as good as it gets, isn't it? Steve Howard for the manager's role, says Mason. Chris Ward saying Puel needs to sign attackers in January. Can't believe he took Maddison off when he was in good form. Why did he? I don't know. Don't know why he did. Lee Bars is saying I'd take Stevie Wonder other than this clown. Peter Hill saying, would we really get 7th if we change manager? It's a myth. I agree. Again, you go back to Southampton, they've just signed, and I can't say his name, I can't even remember it, because he's some guy from I think the Dutch League. He's got no experience of the Premier League, and yes, they beat Arsenal because they got the bounce up after changing manager. It does get you a result often, because the player, annoyingly, the players suddenly go, oh, we've got a new manager, we best put our effort in. Well, put the effort in now while you've still got a manager in. Just put an effort in because you're putting the shirt on, not because you've got a new manager. Steve Gibson, I'm with you on that. Steve Gibson is saying, I'm backing who Top says. Again, crikey, a few weeks ago, just a few weeks ago, 6-7 weeks ago, wasn't it, in October, we had that tragedy, the helicopter. The last thing the club wants at the moment, surely, is to be talking about managers in and out. Surely. Just back the team, back the lads. How did Puel impress the board? God knows, says Dara. Yeah, I understand. I wouldn't have appointed Claude Puel at the start. He does nothing for me. There's nothing about him that says we must have him as Leicester manager. I totally agree with you, Dara. But he is the manager now. So I'm like, let's make it work. It's one of those things, isn't it? I know if you've got somebody at work who's not doing a great job, what do you do? Just say, well, you just go. Or do you say, right, let's give it a bit of time. Let's make it work. Darren Pick is saying you're deluded if you think we'll win tomorrow night, in his opinion. Nobody would have thought we'd win the Premier League. What can I say, Darren? Why can't we beat Man City tomorrow night? I have got no reason to say why Leicester can't beat Man City tomorrow night. Pick the right team. Fans get behind. Make the King Power rock. The clappers. Get the clappers out. They're there every game. Fewer and fewer people using them. Let's make some noise. Bloody Richter scale when we won the Premier League. Everybody singing, everybody clapping. We've got our part in all this. So if you want to go tomorrow night and be a bit like, oh, Claude Puel's, ugh, look at that team, oh, look at that substitution, ugh, and be quiet and just grumbling to the person next to you, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. But you could, on the other hand, just go, I'm going to go and be a supporter tomorrow night. I'm going to bash my clapper, I'm going to sing a bit, I'm going to cheer. And while he's in charge, I'm going to back him. I've seen some comments, genuinely seen, there can't be real Leicester fans putting things out there saying, I hope we lose against these teams so that we get rid of him. You can't be a Leicester fan saying that. Not a proper fan. So, Darren, I do think we can win tomorrow night. And I think we're going to. I do think we're going to. But it wouldn't be surprising if we lost either. Bloody hell, they're Man City, they're bloody good. Dara saying Puel, play Vardy. Vardy in midfield and Morgan up front. Yeah. James Harlow, hi, you're watching. What do you think, James, to all this? Martin Rose is saying players should play for their wages. They get paid a tremendous amount, don't they, Martin? Give Matt Oakley goalie role, says Mason Nash. Mick Paget saying Fuchs. So many comments. Again, I'm scrolling down to get down to some of the more recent comments. Sorry, Richter Scale was great escape year, lol. Fine, Richter Scale, well, it worked, didn't it? Whatever year it was. I thought it was a Premier League year as well, I've got to be fair. That was Martin Rose saying that. Jason Hughes is saying, why do most Leicester fans want Pearson, O'Neill, Redknapp? My God, there's no imagination out there. Again, that's what I'm saying. Who are we going to have in? Here we go. Stephen Price has just won. Well, Stephen Price has said, how about Zinedine Zidane? Think my stats are not great, but I think he's won 3. Has he won 3 out of the last 4 European Champions League trophies with Real Madrid? My stats wrong there? Is Zinedine Zidane, is that a serious shout to come and manage at Leicester? When he's managed at Real Madrid for 2 or 3 years. I know he's not there anymore. Zinedine Zidane is not going to dream of coming to Leicester City, in my humble opinion. Okay, sorry about that. I've seen some names. I'm used to seeing Rafa Benitez. Crikey. But Zinedine Zidane. Kian says Leicester City could win tomorrow night with the right team out. Totally agree with you, Kian. Lee Clark is saying if he's still here in January and no effort is made to get a striker, then I'll just give up. Lee Clark. Great graphics by Lee Clark as well. Been loads coming out. I've got some more to share tomorrow. Fantastic stuff. Jason Mills is saying Antonio Conte would be a great fit. Yes. That's a good shout, Jason. He is available, isn't he? Knows the Premier League. Would he come to Leicester would be my question on Antonio Conte. People would say if the money's right, a manager will come. If the package looks good. Crikey, I think there'd be a certain amount of managers who'd look at Leicester and say, great, they've offered to pay me £2 million a year to come and manage, and they've offered me £6 million if they sack me after 6 months. Be a lot of managers going, I'll take that, because I won't last much longer. Joanna Astley saying, saw a post earlier asking for Roberto Di Matteo. Don't know where Roberto Di Matteo is. Obviously, he did well when he went in halfway through Chelsea's season that year. Won the Champions League, didn't they? I think that year with him there, but then didn't go on to do anything. Darryl Bettison is saying, my stats aren't wrong. Thank you, Darryl. I thought Zinedine Zidane, 3 Champions League Cup wins out of the last 4 seasons. And somebody's just said, why doesn't he come to Leicester? I'll tell you why, because there's probably 20 other teams around the globe much higher than Leicester, or international teams who would have him as their manager. That's why I don't think Zinedine Zidane will come. Jason Cullen, great. It's took a while, Jason. Big Sam Allardyce. Anybody want Big Sam to come? It's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout, and as an interim manager to keep us up if we needed it, he wouldn't be a bad shout because he sorts out a defence and he plugs it forward and you play. But it ain't counter-attacking football as such. It's hoof-it football generally. Big Sam, he is a shout in the fact that he has experience, knows the Premier League, and is that sort of journeyman manager that would possibly come for Leicester for a few months. But for me, God, Claude Puel's trying to build something. It's not perfect at the moment, but he is trying to build something. We can afford to get anyone within reason that our owner is a billionaire, says Martin Jaram. Yes, I agree, Martin. But then if that's the case, if you're a billionaire owner and you can get anyone, why did he employ Claude Puel in the first place? I just think about that question and work out what the answer is. And if you go, I don't know why, well, whoever employed him did know why they employed him. And if you're a billionaire and you can pay for anybody, why did you employ Claude Puel? Phil Creed, I'd go for that one. Phil Creed is saying get Cambiasso as a manager. I think, again, my stats is Cambiasso assistant manager at... I don't think he is assistant manager at Argentina. Assistant manager at Chile or somewhere. Who knows? Where's Cambiasso now? Yes, Cambiasso would be a great shout. The fans would love him. I've heard more songs for Cambiasso in the last 2 months than Claude Puel by about 10 times. Where is Cambiasso? Somebody let me know. I know you lot are clever out there. Thierry Henry was a managerial season he is having, says Dan Hall. Mark Gatwood is saying Conte is the best shout, but I don't think so. Mick Paget is saying Cambiasso for manager. Mark Gatwood is saying Cambiasso. Ooh, we're all getting on Cambiasso. Where is he? Martin Rose is saying, are we getting Drinky in January? For me, I'd get Drinky for sure. Jason Hughes is saying just because he's a billionaire, he also's a businessman and not going to run Leicester City at a loss, which makes a lot of sense. Alan Jones is saying, I've heard the current Leeds manager mentioned. Who's that? I'm not up on the Championship. I only laugh at where Forest and Derby are currently languishing in the Championship, which is just below mid-table, because they're rubbish. Be careful what you wish for, Leicester fans. Don't want to go back down there. Ranieri was at the top with Chelsea, so why can't we attract Zidane? Says Paul Voss. It's fair enough. Maybe you'll think you can attract Zinedine Zidane to Leicester, but Claudio Ranieri was not at Chelsea when he came then to Leicester. He was at Chelsea, and I think, again, my stats are all over the place. Ranieri was at Chelsea in 2004, came to Leicester in 2016, obviously 15, 16. So that was 12 years after he'd been at Chelsea. This is off the top of my head. I think Ranieri at Chelsea around 2003, 2004, something around that era. So he went to a lot of places between Chelsea, a top manager, top club, and coming to Leicester. That's why I don't think this is Zidane. Pellegrini has got West Ham playing some pretty decent football of recent weeks. Yeah, up until the weekend though, West Ham were down below us. I don't know if they're above us now in the league, but they certainly haven't been all season, so that's interesting. Kieran is saying Brendan Rodgers. Totally disagree. Like I've said earlier, best manager in a one-team league until this season when there's two other teams doing better and he's third. Defo not Conte, says Helen Smith. The last thing we want is him. Paul Fogarty is saying Neil Lennon. He's up in Scotland, isn't it? I can't remember, is he at Motherwell or Hibernian? Neil Lennon, I've lost where he is. Wayne is saying no to Big Sam. Dan Hall is saying no to Big Sam. Joanna Astley is saying, have I been drinking too much fizzy pop today? Yeah, I think so. I'm a bit riled up, Joanna, I did not expect 85% of fans to say Puel out. And I just feel like I'm one of the minority. Well, I am saying, what do you want? So I'm fighting my corner a bit tonight, Joanna. Jason Coulton is saying West Ham played good football under Sam. They didn't want to keep him, though, would be my response to that, Jason. They didn't want him. Martin Rose is saying, my bad, Richter scale was made 2016. I'll accept your apology, Martin. Thank you. Let's have another Richter scale tomorrow night. Mick, I'm not reading that comment about Big Sam, but we've all seen that. Mick Turvey is saying FFS, not Rodgers. I would echo that and say FFS, not Rodgers. Jay Stevens saying, please could I advise what exactly Claude Puel trying to build? Well, he's generally trying to buy younger players. He's generally trying to play younger players. And I'm going to remind you all, there was a lot of fans' comments last year moaning about Ben Chilwell. It was within 12 months ago. Go and look at some of the posts and the comments from 12 months ago. People slating Ben Chilwell. He's not this, he's not that. Puel has persisted with him when he came in and he said, I'm having Ben Chilwell. He's a good young lad. I'm going to play him. And he's turned him into England's fullback. He's turned him into... There's rumours that Ben Chilwell might be snapped up by somebody in January for something ridiculous like up to £50 million. Claude Puel's brought Ben Chilwell on because he's been training him. Damari Gray is another young lad. Didn't buy him by Claude Puel, but he's played him and he's been putting him in there. James Maddison, another young lad, 21. He's put him in, he's bought him, he's playing him, he's developing him. He's not going to get it right every week, is Maddison, but he's doing well. There's three. Do you want me to keep going? Harry Maguire. Again, Puel didn't bring him, but he's brought him on. Under his guardianship last season, brought Harry Maguire on and got him into the England side, turned him into a decent player. He was probably decent before he came, but Puel has guided some of these young players. He's bought some younger players. I mean, people like Benkovic and Soyuncu are on the younger side. Diabati's on the younger side. Gazelle, I think, is on the younger side. So that is what, Jay, I think he's trying to do. He's building a young side and he's having to slowly dismantle what was the legends of a Premier League win. He's slowly having to tell people like Simpson and Books, you're not really getting in the team. Fair play to Big Wes, because Wes, a lot of fans would have wanted him. I thought he was past it, but Big Wes has been doing good. Anyway, that's what I think. That I think he's trying to build a team that can play now, but that has got something in the future. Joanna's saying, what about Bilic? Again, that's a shout. Neil Dello saying, Harry Redknapp, I'm a celebrity, get Puel out of here. I like it, Neil, but I don't think Harry... He's going to be on this morning as like agony aunt or something now, isn't he? Dale Hines is saying Derby are in the playoff zone. Yeah, they always screw it up, Dale. Don't worry. Do not worry. Derby will not get into the playoffs and will not get through. Joey is saying he'd have been sacked by Greece before he came to City. Thank you. Claudio Ranieri. Somebody said earlier, why did Claudio Ranieri was that good when we had him? He came from Chelsea. Why did he come from Chelsea? So we can therefore get in Zinedine Zidane. Thank you, Joey, for just reminding us that we took Claudio Ranieri after he'd been sacked by the mighty, mighty Greece. Does that show you the level of managers we've been signing? And hey, trust me, Claudio Ranieri is right up there. Can't even see the hand. Right up there. In my books, I'm still annoyed and gutted and embarrassed that we sacked him, if I'm honest. I felt so sad to see him in the dugout at Fulham the other day, to think we'd done that to him. But people are saying, oh, get this manager, get that manager. Look at the quality of the managers that we've been getting. Claude Puel, sacked or left Southampton. Ranieri, sacked from Greece. It's not like we're going out and getting the top creme de la creme of European managers, guys. Ronald Koeman says Brendan Kelly, got Netherlands playing some attractive football. I don't know where he is. Is he the Dutch manager? Is that right, Brendan? If you're saying he's got Netherlands playing some manager, is the Dutch national coach, if that's where he is, which I'm guessing from your comment, is the Dutch national coach going to leave Holland, who are playing England next June in the playoffs, to come to Leicester? Don't think so. Cambiasso had one relegation battle season with us and then he legged it. He's got no managerial experience, says Alan Jones. And the last few comments I'm going to read. James Hall is saying, you make me pissed, Phil. Thank you, James Hall, saying that. I'm glad I am. I feel in a bit of a fruity mood tonight. Neil Dillo is saying, let's have a go for Rashford in January. He needs playtime and we need strength up front. Love to have Rashford at Leicester, but he's probably been Man United's best player this season, Rashford has. I can't see them letting him go for at all. Stephen Price is saying that's why I said Zidane. Why? Because he left Real Madrid. But again, I come back to you. Zinedine Zidane may have left Real Madrid. He's got his CV is like super up there. Great if you think it's going to happen, Stephen. I'm not. Maybe it could do. Andrew Turlington, where is Puel's football philosophy when it comes to strikers? Listen, everybody. It's time to finish. You've been great tonight and it's been really entertaining for me reading all your comments. If you can like and share this video, that would be absolutely brilliant. We'll see you all down at the match tomorrow night. Let's make that King Power Rock. Let's do our bit. If the players want to waltz around and not put so much effort in, if Claude Puel wants to pick a strange looking team, let him do it. There's only one thing we can do, and that's clap the clappers, sing loud, cheer and believe. And trust me, I'll be back on here tomorrow night, as soon as the match is over, to say I told you we were going to beat Man City. The League Cup has got our name on it. In 24 hours, you can all tell me I was wrong, but I'm going to stick with it. That we are going to win the League Cup in honour and memory of Vichai. That's what is written in the stars. And it'll be a nice day out for us all, and we can all remember a great chairman. And we can back, in the meantime, we can back the players, we can back the manager. That's my opinion. But 85% of you want Puel out, which is fine. You allowed your opinion. Anyway, from me, Phil, 100% LCFC. See you out the match. Come on, you Blues. See you later.